All right. So welcome back.
Welcome.
We've had a little bit of a break. Yeah. Welcome back, Carter.
Sing it.
So today we're going to start out a little different.
Oh, yeah.
We just want to obviously say hi.
Yes.
We've been gone a few weeks. It's good
Too
to be
long.
back.
Yeah.
But we want to let you know kind of a little bit about what was going on. I mean, we all had different things kind of happening. So anybody want to start us off? What have you been up to the last few weeks?
Oh, man. Last week was a solid week of youth camp. Lee knows because he was there.
Yep.
He was doing all the video for camp. So that was nonstop till you drop. And, just doing family stuff and youth ministry stuff in the weeks before that. So
cool. Yeah, I went to Utopia, Texas. I've got family up there, and it is not a veritable utopia. No, it's fine.
It doesn't live
we were
up
staying
to
on
its
the
name.
Sabinal River, and it rained for a little bit the first day we were there, so the river was nice for a couple of days, and then the river went south, and it was pretty. They need some rain. I think we all need rain.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
so we were at Utopia, Texas, did a family trip, and saw family up there, Kim and Sammy and the Murphy bunch. They're listeners and watchers, hopefully. Subscribers, hopefully. So we had a really good time with them. It's up northwest of San Antonio. So for those that have never been to Utopia, there's a movie. It's called 7 Days of Utopia, and it gives you a good feel for that town. It's pretty laid back, pretty chill.
Who's in this movie?
Robert Duvall and Shane Black.
Really?
Yes, it's about golf.
Oh, well, there you
So yeah. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. There we
There
go.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
And then last week, youth camp, which was amazing. It was very intense. It was so hot.
That it was, oh, man. It was
so
dirty hot.
Yeah, but it was a ton of work for me. Editing every day. I had a couple of young guys go with me and help film, but I was having to do all the editing myself, and it was brutal.
And y'all did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Everything turned out
Appreciate that.
amazing. So
One of the coolest moments that happened at camp for me will actually involve the podcast. I'm standing in the back of the room, and this guy walks up and he goes, "Hey," I'm like. Kind of like I thought it like a drug deal was going down. And,
youth camp.
At youth camp.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't be the
guy's
first
like,
time.
"Hey." And he's all trying to be kind of conspiratorial. And I'm like, what's about to happen? Because he was an adult, not a kid. And he goes, "Hey." And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You the guy from the podcast?" And I was like, "What? What? Are you serious?" So shout out to Travis, who is a youth pastor there in Palacios, Texas. He is a subscriber, and he checks us out regularly. So thank you for
Appreciate
that.
you.
Yeah. I wanted to get a picture with him before we left, but we didn't have time. But yeah, it was awesome. So
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Maybe
Get
he
to run
can
into
post a
somebody.
picture of himself, and then we can Photoshop.
there you go.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely post under this.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Just use some of that AI technology. Get him in the picture with us.
There we go.
Yeah.
Put ourselves in like Egypt,
there you go.
Be anywhere we want to be.
The Saharan desert. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
It was hot.
It was so
Yeah.
hot.
I'll go after Jason. I did nothing. So
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So I guess it was just a bunch of work.
You preached.
I did preach.
Nice.
Yeah. That was fun. Had a family trip in there. Went to Sweetwater, Texas.
Nice.
Back home.
Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Rattlesnake
There's
capital.
not a lot there. There's a lot of rattlesnakes. It's hot and sandy, and yeah, that's really it. We almost had a blowout on the drive. I got a good picture of the tire. Like an entire section of our tire was missing.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thankful it did not blow out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
How'd y'all keep from having a blowout?
So we're just going along, and speeds on the highway are like 75.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
70, just going along 75, and all of a sudden we hear this like, and then it stopped. I was like, well, that's weird. But there's all kinds of road debris because it's so hot. Like,
Yeah.
I think the lowest the temperature was when we were there, like during the daytime, was like 107.
Sounds
and so,
right.
like,
Wow.
we're driving through this. And so there's just road debris everywhere from other tires that have blown. And I thought, well, maybe we just kicked up something and it was bouncing around. So we kept going. And then after another half hour or so, it was like, and then it stopped. It's like, okay, that's weird. So we pulled over at the first place that we could, which they're tiny little highway things. So there's no like shoulder to pull over. So we found a Family Dollar and pulled in, and like the tire looks totally normal. I'm like, well, I can't see anything. Stuck my hand back there, and like the steel in the tire like poked me. So I'm like, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
So yeah, tiny town in Texas. If you've been through, it's probably like Utopia.
No, yeah.
Like, you know, I think there was one stoplight. We asked, "Does anybody do tires here?" And they're like, "Nope." So we made it to the next town on this almost blown tire and got the spare on and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting as we're pulling up to the mechanic in the next town. Right across the street is a huge billboard. Again, it's a small town. Huge billboard that says Jesus. And then there's the mechanic. So my family were like, all right.
It's a sign.
Yeah. So I think that's how we didn't get the blowout. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Jesus.
I was like, thank you. Yeah. But then we ended up having to drop like $500 on, 2 tires. So
yeah.
that's fine. But yeah, that was my time visiting some family out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys all left me.
Yeah.
I was all alone.
Yeah.
I was just,
He was here with his family.
Oh, yeah. Staycation.
yeah, it was a staycation, but I still had to work. So
there you
vacation
go.
part was not part of it. So stay.
Well, what's really fun is you're on your vacation and you have to work. So that happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we
That's done sometimes.
yeah, everybody, we just kind of took a summer break. A lot of things we all had to get done, but I also enjoy some breaks as well. And but we missed all you guys doing the podcast. We definitely. It was a hard choice to take a break. We didn't want to, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But we're excited to be back. So without further ado, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, the places you will go. Dr. Seuss wrote, and boy, was he right. Around the world or around the corner. Today we talk about places we've been or local yokels. Talk places and adventures. Sit and stay a spell. Local yokel. Yeah. Work it in there.
Yeah.
Local yokel.
That's us.
That's hard to say, actually.
It is. It's like one
why
of
we
those
leave it
tongue
to the
twisters.
Yeah.
Local yokel.
All right. Well, let's get this started.
Do it.
We'll start with the fun one.
Yeah.
What's the craziest place you've ever been?
My parents' bedroom. Wasn't allowed.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
That was so awkward. Wow.
He's having flashbacks, right?
Yeah.
no.
Oh, man.
Help us out.
Wow.
No, y'all just ruined it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is, as kids, we weren't allowed in there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, doors locked. We're not allowed in parents' bedroom because we make a mess of everything.
Yes.
And one time,
Break, steal, you
one
name
time, my dad was like, "Hey, I need something, and you're gonna have to go in my bedroom to go get it," while he's working on something else, and he didn't have a free hand. He had to hold something up on a ladder, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "In your room?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I went in there, and I was like,
Nice.
"It was a room.
It was
Yeah.
around.
It was a room."
Yeah.
Although there was a lot of snacks in there that
Oh,
we
that's
weren't
where they
allowed
are.
to normally have, and you just bust them out on special occasions. So like the Cheetos.
We had a similar household. Like
Yeah.
we were not allowed in our parents' bedroom. Like every now and again, like you said, they would go, you use the restroom in our, I'm like, we can use your restroom.
I know.
Otherwise, no,
Yeah.
we would tear stuff. We would tear everything up.
Yep.
Well, yeah, my dad had a gun under the bed.
See, there's that too.
Yeah, and so it's like, as kids, we're like, what's that?
I think it's funny. It's like Jason's like, "Where's the craziest place you've ever been?" And halfway on a joke, I'm just, I got to go to my parents' bedroom one time, and now it's like a legit part of the conversation we're having.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is this happening right now?
It did happen.
Wow.
No room.
I thought you were going all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah. Like,
No, I didn't go on. Yeah.
yeah.
To the beginning of your life.
Jason's the only one over here. He's like, I can't
was
relate. I could go anywhere. In fact, I built a whole new room off my house.
We go wherever.
I go wherever I want to go.
The craziest place you've ever been.
Even
My
at-
mother's womb. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Where are we going?
That's-
Where are we going with this?
This is not therapy. It's not there. My kids actually love to hang out in our room because we have a television. They like to go in there and like do movies and stuff. I don't know. So yeah, but of course, I think that's how we were brought up. Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so
it's the same way for me too.
I've got nothing to hide.
yeah.
Well, except for the guns, but
There's that part.
Golly.
but they're old enough now.
Safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
When
old
they're
enough
really
now.
young.
Yeah, hey,
That's what that's how my family was.
don't
Like,
touch the guns.
anybody who met my dad knows he likes hunting, fishing, all that kind of stuff. So
Sure.
Okay.
we grew up with that.
Other than your parents' bedrooms,
Yeah. Where's the crazy?
where's another crazy place
Craziest
that
places.
you guys have been? Yeah.
Craziest place. The airport in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
I have heard really cool things about that.
It's huge.
It's crazy.
And it's crazy. It's like trams for days, moving walkways for days. It's like, it's a city. It is like, you hope that your flight was not delayed and that you're not having to walk, or run or get on the tram for, however long it takes to get what feels like halfway around the world whenever you got to get connecting flight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually missed a flight one time out of Atlanta. I was going to the airport.
I believe it.
And we had car trouble. Got stuck. And I showed up. Could see the plane, but they'd already closed the door. So they're like, no, you can't. We'll get you on the next one, but that's not till tomorrow.
Oh, man.
And so we ended up having to stay, friends and I actually slept under a park bench.
Wow,
Man.
Yeah. So
wow.
yeah. So Atlanta. Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Side
Park
note,
bench.
in the same vein, when in June when we went to youth camp, we flew back for a wedding, and then a giant storm hit. So here we are in a plane on the runway, waiting for the storm to leave, and our planes being shook all over the place. And before the plane even takes off, we get a text message from the airline saying, "Hey, we rescheduled your next flight, your connecting flight for tomorrow." Like, so we land in DFW and we're looking for a place to stay. There's a conference, and the 1,000 people that got delayed, all in one spot, all 3 hotels, between a 15-mile radius. So
Good times.
I slept in the airport.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
I've
biggest-
done that before too.
Yeah. That was my
Because
first.
of
It
a
was an
storm.
adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure.
The biggest disservice that airports have ever done is cause our delays and then put like armrests on all the benches.
Built-in armrest.
yeah, you
Yes.
can't lay down. There's no lay down.
It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
Like the things that they do to cause delays and other issues and
Yeah.
mess up, like we don't even go into Southwest with all that
Yeah.
right now, but like, and then you go and put armrests on the only thing that's easier to sleep on.
Now, I will
So
say
messed
some
up.
of the newer chairs in the back corner, they had these giant pieces for your legs to stick out.
That's
so I'm
nice.
like, how often does this happen?
Yeah.
That you have to create a whole
Pretty
chair for
often.
people
Yeah.
to sleep in the airport.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
Nuts.
It's so crazy. I slept on the floor of the airport. It was during the storm of the century. So that was I was
What was this,
on a mission trip.
1920?
1990s.
It was a good movie.
Was that 92? I think it was 92. Anyways, they called it the storm of the century. It just basically shut everything down.
yeah.
And we were supposed to fly in from England and then head out in Newark, New Jersey. And our whole team ended up stuck in that airport and slept on the floor all night. And let me just tell you, I've never hated elevator music more.
Oh man.
All night long. I mean, I'm trying to sleep.
A brutal
and it just,
storm, and then alongside that,
Kenny G haunted me for years after that. Kenny G.
Yeah. The irony of that story is I had the exact opposite experience. There was no music being played except for this lady's loud snoring.
Oh,
and so when their
okay.
playlist finally kicked in, it was like, oh, thank God.
Something. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was ready to. If I had found the person running the radio, I would have hurt them. No doubt.
yeah. So the craziest place I've ever been,
Yeah.
Redwood National Forest.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
never been.
Alaska's up
That's a
there
cool
too because
place,
it was
yeah.
amazing. But the redwoods in California.
That's
You like that segue?
I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's literally a tree so big that you can drive your car through it as a tunnel.
That's awesome.
It's nuts. And it might, like, we went a bunch in the 90s. So I've been there a few times. It's been years since I was a kid, but I remember there was a lot of laws that got passed after a certain point in the 90s because people kept taking a lot of pieces of the
yeah.
petrified wood on the ground. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And we totally have a piece at the house that my parents had from like that was really early on, like 94 or something like that. But
And his address is.
nope.
It's in his parents' bedroom.
Oh.
Can't get to it.
Can't get to
Yeah.
it. Yeah. No, but yeah, that was surreal for a couple of different reasons. One is you go see the redwoods and just the massive size of all those, but then also you're basically driving through indoor at a certain point,
Right.
Because that's where they filmed, indoor for Star Wars, and that was always cool. Because as a kid,
that's awesome.
I had just seen Star Wars too, because it was a '70s film, but then I kind of got to watch it and as a kid, and I was like, dude, this is where the Ewoks were. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. So that's why it really stuck with me. Is I got to see where the Ewoks live.
That's pretty rad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Craziest place, Lee.
Man, there's a lot of places I've been. Not as, I don't know. The craziest. I think I would have to say it's this, and it's because of the crazy story that goes with it and what happened.
That's fair.
I went to Siloam Springs, Arkansas. I've been there twice in my life now. Crazily, years ago, I went for John Brown University's there, and I went for a preview weekend. I was a senior, and the university is about a half a mile to a mile from the main strip where all the fast food is.
Right.
And so we missed dinner, and so I hit it off with this guy from Florida. The people there, no offense, but at that time, the college students there were pretty weird. There were a bunch of weirdos. And so we were like, neither of us were feeling it. He was from Florida, and he was kind of like a cool surfer kid. Had like on board shorts and,
Sunshine.
And then me, I was pre-goth because I was goth before there was goth, sort of.
You're the guy.
I was, but I didn't do makeup and stuff, but I had on a black turtleneck, a black overcoat, black combat boots, and blue jeans. Because
oh man,
I was trying to be
Jinkos, man.
Dude, I was trying to be a spy, and so that was kind of my vibe. I don't know. I was a weird kid. Anyway, so we go walking into town, and as we're walking into town on the one road that went from the college into the town, this truck full of, we're almost at the strip, and then this truck full of rednecks drives by us, guns in the gun rack. The whole 9 yards. They are standing up in the back, hitting on the top like you'd see in a movie. Woo-hoo. Yeah, like whoa, yeah. And then as they drove by, they go like, "Look at those weirdos! Bonk, 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 let's get them!" And I'm like, okay. So me and this dude, I don't even remember his name, but I'm like, dude, we got to cut across this field. So we cut across this field. I find a Zima bottle. That's how long ago this was. I pick up the Zima bottle, put it in my pocket because I'm like, if these dudes show up and they're serious, I'll at least have something. So we walk, and there is this whole time I thought it was an Arby's. It's actually not an Arby's. It was a Hardee's.
Oh, yeah.
Went back and figured this out years later. I just last summer actually went back to Siloam Springs because I had a customer near there. Anyway, so we walk into Hardee's, and it is like a moment from the Twilight Zone. Okay. Everybody in there is white, and everybody just stops what they're doing and stares at us like mid-bite. Like, the girl at the register, she's like, da, 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 da. And then we walk in, and granted, he looks like surfer kid. I look pre-goth kid. And so we kind of just look around.
You're not
and
from around here, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not from around here. So I'm like, and he's like, I'm like, keep walking. And so we just walk through the lobby, and everybody just across, follows us with their eyes across the lobby. And then we walk out. Next door, there's a McDonald's. And we're like, oh my gosh, that was so weird. He's like, that was so weird. And we walk into McDonald's. In the meantime, the drunken rednecks had gotten lost. And so, thank God, they took a wrong turn. They took a wrong turn, and they lost us. So, but I'm thinking
not a movie reference.
Half their family is in the Hardee's. And so we walk into McDonald's, and There is a black girl behind the counter. There's a Hispanic couple over here, a little Asian couple with a kid over there. And I have never been so happy in my entire life to see people that were not of the same skin color as mine. I was like, thank God for diversity. Yeah, it was amazing.
McDonald's for the win.
So yeah, McDonald's for the win for sure. You know, it's universal.
You know what's really funny was the moment you're about to say the craziest place you've ever been. As a joke, I almost said McDonald's.
Yeah.
It was. That's where it ended.
That's where
that's
the story
I've been to McDonald's in many countries, and it always feels like home.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
The first time I got dropped off at college, my mom went to McDonald's, got me a
This
quarter pounder
episode
with cheese.
sponsored by McDonald's.
We wish.
No, it's not. No, not
Sure.
at all.
We wish. Yeah.
Gotta take that back. We'll get flagged.
We probably will.
Thanks, Raymond.
Sorry.
Craziest place I've ever been. I've been to a lot of places. I don't know if it's the craziest place I've ever been, but I do remember it being crazy.
Yep.
I'm as Bahrain. So
Oh, wow.
Middle
Yeah.
East, right? Just out walking, we find a mall, go in this mall, and it's like any other mall, right? Like people are walking around, there's shops, whatever. And all of a sudden, everybody just scatters, just darts off.
Like cockroaches in
And
the light.
all the shops, the businesses shut their doors. They have the little roll down things, and it the music stops, and it's just me and two other guys with me.
Was it time for prayer?
And and then there was this bell, but we didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Well, so it's a Muslim country.
Yeah.
And it was that time.
Yeah.
But again, nobody told us. And it felt like being in an apocalyptic kind of movie.
bet.
Like there's a bomb about to hit.
Yeah, it was
right here.
These people know something I don't know.
Yeah. It's what happened? And it just stayed that way for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then it just totally went back to normal. Yeah. And
That would have freaked me out, dude. I would have dove in the fountain.
Yeah.
I'd be like something's
Just to
going
play
down.
because no one can stop you.
Yeah.
it was,
Here come the zombies.
yeah, it was so surreal. Walking through and no sound, no mute, nothing. And we were just
Yeah.
by ourselves.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
That is
yeah,
crazy.
maybe I think Bahrain. I mean, I've been a bunch of places, but I would say that's probably the craziest thing I remember.
Well, and the government was paying for you to go to all these places, right?
Well, true. The government paid for a lot of them. Yeah.
Because you were a sailor.
I was a sailor.
Did anybody ever say hello there, sailor? To you?
I don't remember
I'm
that.
just curious.
No. I
And
don't
all those
remember
ports
ever
you were
hearing
in, all those towns and all those ports,
No,
nobody ever
I
said
will
hello there,
say-
sailor.
The one port that loved sailors more than any other port was Hobart in Australia.
Oh, cool.
They loved having us there. People from the town came out to greet and meet every single person that came off that ship.
Well, that's pretty rad.
Shout out to Hobart, Australia.
Hobart
Australia
is
is
a great
awesome.
place.
We'd
Yeah.
love to come.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
had
invite us. Yeah.
we had so we'd been at sea for 3.5 months, and that was the first port that we went to. And there's a Mexican restaurant right on the
Awesome.
port, and so we're that's where we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat some Mexican food, and they brought out the biggest margaritas I've ever seen. The
Nice.
normal size was a fish bowl.
Oh, my
it was
goodness.
ridiculous.
Holy cow. Was the food
No
good?
one was leaving.
The food I think was good, but I'd been at sea for 3.5 months, so I can't tell.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
true.
I mean,
That's true.
everything tastes good, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, buddy James was just telling me that. He was just the food on the ship, you just kind of get used to it for a bit, but every time you go home or get on land, you're just rushed to the first. He goes to McDonald's a lot.
I was going to say, it
I
could be
told you,
McDonald's.
He does.
That's,
He loves
that's
it.
why I
Yeah.
went to so many McDonald's.
Yeah.
I've
was in
eaten
Japan
McDonald's in so many places.
Yeah, he was the
Makes
one
sense.
place you could go get Wi-Fi and enjoy something you're familiar with. Yeah.
Which leads to the next question. Which
Where
is
do you place you go?
place you go all the time?
Yeah.
What's the place you go all the
You
time?
would visit
right?
often.
Oh man. Well, I'll be honest. I traveled a lot growing up because that's my family loved to do that. But lately, I don't really go anywhere. So I think in the spirit of food and what we were just talking
Yes.
about.
I think I have
Go for
something
it.
in mind.
Yeah.
Where Raymond would go all the time.
I kind of okay. I'm not even gonna say it. What is it?
I'm
Jay?
thinking Jimmy John.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Knew that
I
was
go there a
coming.
lot. Yeah, they know my name. They know my orders.
That's so funny. For me, it's Firehouse. Seriously.
Hot sandwiches
I
and cold
used- okay,
sandwiches.
Say y'all and your
Well,
sandwiches.
I used to love Firehouse, but
It's a different episode as well.
there's a something happened along the way in the last 2 years, and their sandwiches shrunk. and the quantity of meat on the sandwich has gone to half of what it was.
Ironically, it's
And
called
the
inflation.
price is still the same. So I'll go there every once in a while because I enjoy the sandwiches, but Jimmy John's has not changed. I can get food delivered to me, a whole meal for $12 delivered to me. So I stick with that.
That's impressive.
Can't beat it.
I very much like Jimmy John's. So yeah, I go there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, just the other day, we got back from this trip that I said we were in Sweetwater, right?
Yep.
And just pulled into town, picking up canes so we don't have to cook.
Yeah.
And I look towards Jimmy John's, which is like a parking lot away, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that far. And as I look to the side, I'm like, that's Raymond.
He's my
So
second home.
I took a picture and sent it to him. I was like, hey, I
Yeah.
see you.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I would love for Jimmy John's to support us too. Like, I will
Or
wear
Firehouse.
your
Or
stuff
Firehouse.
every episode. Like, hook
Or
me up.
Firehouse, for sure.
I love Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's where I'm at all the time. What about you guys?
You go to Jimmy John's all the
I
time.
just said mine, Firehouse Subs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They know my name there.
The
too.
other place I thought you were going to
usually-
say was like
that's what
El
they say.
Patrio or something like that. 'cause-
Oh, El Patrio. Yeah. Shout out to the local place.
you
Yeah.
hooked them up with some business, man.
I do. I love El Patrio. Best tacos in town, in my opinion. But,
Outside of our break, I would say the place I go to all the time is here at the offices of Marketing Creative
oh,
Come
to
here
hang
a lot.
out with you guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking
yeah.
of businesses,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say Whataburger.
I mean,
What?
Whataburger. I go to church all the time too.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, this is a place
Although
we come all
lately
the
it's
time.
been Wait a Burger.
Whataburger.
Wait,
I
no
love that that's
doubt.
catching on. Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Wait a burger. It is so true.
Y'all leave some comments and
Hashtag
make them know
Whataburger.
that it's taking too long.
That takes way too long.
They are
not
not
changed.
Chick-fil-A. I'll
They're
just put it that way.
Not at all.
They're
Yeah.
not Chick-fil-A.
Okay, I'm going to go different since we had a lot of food.
I
talk
know.
there.
Like, what's wrong with us that we all have food? Like,
I
We're
think it's dinner
hungry.
time. It's dinner time.
Over the last few years, I think the place that I've gone most outside of just like the norm, around here or whatever, is probably San Antonio. My family and I have taken
Yeah.
multiple trips out there for various reasons, camp, family things, just whatever. And
Yeah.
we'll find ourselves out there. We've even done just like, we'll just go take a weekend and go hang out there. So that's probably a place over the last few years that I've gone the most.
like inner city or like outskirts?
All over. We've done stuff downtown. We've done stuff like all the way up to like Comfort. I mean, that was
Yeah.
where camp was, where my daughter went to. That's I think out towards Utopia.
Yeah,
I think that's out that
Nice.
way. Yeah. So just generally that area, I guess the hill country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could
I
say.
love the Hill Country.
Yeah.
I watched a
for
video showed up on my timeline on Facebook the other day, and it was really cool because it was about San Antonio, and it was the opening day of the River Walk
Oh, yeah.
and the mall that was built there. And at the time, it was advertised as the greatest mall in the world. It was supposed to be like
Yeah.
built after the malls that you would see in like Chicago and New York and stuff. And so that was like the first one in Texas that was that style
Yeah.
to
I think
house
it's like 3 stories or something.
Yeah.
That's
3 floors.
awesome. Yeah.
it was to
It's not
house like recreational things as well, not just shopping, but like to be a hub, a social hub
Yeah.
of downtown and really build their city back up to what they wanted it to be. And so it's kind of cool. Like I got to see that because I've experienced it, and they have such a cool downtown. So
They really do.
yeah,
I
if I,
mean,
had
that's
family
where-
there, I'd be going there all the time too.
That's where after we eloped, that's where we went on our honeymoon.
That's
It's
awesome.
San Antonio. I love San Antonio. It's
Yeah.
such a great,
Great
place.
place.
It's funny when we were actually picking my daughter up from camp, and because we've gone to San Antonio so many times, it's like, well, why don't we stay a night in Austin and then we'll drive over San Antonio? They're really close. And so we did. My wife and I stayed a night in Austin and realized very quickly we're not Austin people. Like
Yeah.
this is not the same thing.
Keep Austin weird.
Yeah, and it definitely was weird.
Yeah.
And so like we stayed the night there, and then we drove to the San Antonio area and like hung out in the San Antonio area.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of Austin, the one thing that makes me laugh about Austin right now is every time I go, I swear coffee shops are multiplying.
Oh, at a rapid
Oh,
rate.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. If like they figured out like that there's like a new drug to put in coffee to make people want it that bad.
Yep.
But I was there one time and it was right near the Capitol, and everything around the Capitol. I mean, everybody wants to do business there. And there was 4 coffee shops on the same corner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
There's a comedian.
I don't understand.
Oh man, who was it? It might have been a Gaffigan thing. But I remember him talking. He was in Seattle,
Uh-huh.
Lewis
and
Black.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
yeah. He was in a Starbucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he stepped outside and he's like, the one thing
Yeah.
I should never see when I'm coming out of Starbucks
Is another
another
is
Starbucks.
another Starbucks.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Starbucks.
So I know exactly which one he is talking about too.
Yeah.
Because I was there. It's in the Parks place, that market area, and there's the original Starbucks there. And then when you walk out of that one, there
you
is
can
a
see the next-
new
yeah.
Starbucks right
Yeah.
there. on
But
the other corner.
Austin was yeah,
Yeah, same way.
They're all over the place. That and smoke shops.
Yep.
Smoke shops have popped up
all over.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
dude. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's nuts.
So
All
has
right.
everybody got the place they go all the time?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I think we're covered on that. Yeah.
All right,
moving
so-
along.
Half of us was food.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. So I guess the best way to finish this out would be like, what is a place you want to visit?
Yeah.
Oh, New Zealand for me, man. Like I've been talking about that forever, and you know, my wife would love to go too. We've talked about Ireland and stuff like that, but New Zealand's always been on the list. It's just so beautiful, and I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so there's all these amazing places in New Zealand that are still like the sets are still there. Like you can visit Hobbiton. Like
Yeah.
the Shire is still all there, and
My son
you
Jacob
can
and I were
visit.
talking about that just
Yeah.
this week.
And
As the
it's
shortest
really-
person here.
yeah,
There's some
I would
irony
fit in
there.
so
See
well.
the Hobbit.
So my he's basically my brother, but really ridiculously close friend Colin. He got to go there as an exchange student and hung out there, and he got to tell me all about it and take pictures and stuff, and he the locals were extremely nice and receptive to him, and like basically he was like, I got there alone, but then by day 2 I had a group of friends that I could have for a lifetime.
That's
And
awesome.
They were so
Wow.
inviting, and
Yeah.
so that makes me want to go even more.
Right.
But the one thing that keeps us from doing it, you would think would be money, but it's not. It's like, well, if we want to go bad enough, you'll find a way, right? It's actually the plane ride.
26 hours in a plane.
I don't like. I can barely handle flying in a plane to Dallas, and that's like 45
minutes. Max.
I don't do a lot of planes. I'm afraid
Yeah.
of heights, and being in a tin can in the air just freaks me out a
That's
bit.
a long
so
time.
20 something hours to get to New Zealand. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
You could take a boat.
knock me out.
Yeah. There you go. Take a boat.
Yeah, can I take a cruise to like
Yeah. It
the
would
most
take so
comforting
long.
way
It would
to
take
get
so
there?
long.
It would also double the price.
At least.
Yeah.
A month at sea just to get
6
to New
months.
Zealand.
No, it's
yeah.
just- I'm going to take a 6-month break from work, guys, and she'll see you later.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's definitely. I would love to visit that place. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But right now, YouTube videos will have to suffice.
There you go.
Yeah. For me, it's Ireland. You know, Ireland. I want to do a tour of Ireland, Scotland. See the, the heritage.
Oh yeah,
The heritage sites,
right.
the castles.
You got
and
some
whatnot.
Irish in you.
Same.
they got a little Irish.
Yes,
in it.
I do.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
How are you going to kiss the Blarney Stone?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Not me.
Not even
I'll
avoid
let,
it at
I'll
all
let the
costs.
kids do that. I'm not hanging over the wall just so I can kiss a stupid.
I always hear about what the locals do to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that.
I'll bring
I'll
one of
look that
those
up.
those
I'm
cleaning
not gonna
wipes.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
That'd be so mad.
Ireland. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Yep.
Go to Ireland.
Oh, I don't want to take up too much time, but I do have a funny story about Ireland. It's actually not that funny.
Wait,
Do
you
tell.
were there?
No. So,
Oh.
my family were from Ireland, like on my ancestry.com and 23andMe, I am 92% Irish. And then the rest of it is Scottish and northern UK. So we have like family lineage we can trace back. And so we've always wanted to go. So my family planned a trip to go to Ireland, go to Dublin and do like, it was like a 10-day trip that
Yeah.
we're going to spend there. And I don't know how it happened, but my sister couldn't take her kids. And so I was nominated to stay behind and watch the 3 kids.
Are you kidding me? The whole
myself.
family went without you.
Yeah. I was the only one in my
What?
entire family who didn't go.
See,
Yeah.
it seems like to me it's your sister's kids. So I guess you don't get to go. That's sorry, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, there were things that were happening over there that were special that she needed to go for.
Oh, okay.
I won't, just, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. So, but yeah, I didn't get to go. And then, so on top of the wound of not being able to go to Ireland, the kids came down with scarlet fever.
Oh,
Are you kidding? Oh, wow.
I thought you were going to
Gift
say
that
like
keeps on
they
giving.
stopped at New Zealand on the way back.
Nice.
No, anyways,
Like just for Raymond.
it's one of the most,
Wow.
it's just one of the most silly stories ever. Cause I'm like, your whole family goes to Ireland and you're like chilling back with some kids. And I'm like 18 at the time, watching 3 young kids and taking them to school. And
Thanks for choosing me.
yeah,
Yeah. It's crazy.
it was ridiculous, but it was fun.
Let's see. I think the place that I'd want to go, it'd probably be Europe. Like I've done a lot of other places. But
Eastern or Western? You're going to have to narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah. I like
Northern or
Western.
Southern?
Yeah.
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 Southwestern?
Western Europe, really?
I
Central.
don't know. Just check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portugal?
No.
He's
Spain?
like all of it,
Yeah.
guys. All of it.
Yeah, because
France?
I mean, like I said, I've done Australia, I've
Netherlands.
done Hong Kong, China, like all that stuff, and
Yeah.
I've done the Asian countries, some Asian countries.
Samoans.
Maybe Samoan countries.
I didn't do Africa. Although Bahrain was close there.
Yeah.
Middle East, and I've done stuff obviously in the Americas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that just I think that'd be fun.
Cool.
Just check out.
You're pretty well traveled.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've Canada's as far as I've gone outside the United States. Like that's as far as I've ever gone, man. I feel sad. I haven't gone to Mexico.
Mexico, Canada. I haven't been to Canada. England, Mexico. We almost went to Canada, but we didn't go. Yeah, that's about it. England, Mexico.
What about you, Eric, man? I'm
Let's hear the mysteries of Eric.
Well, it's not really a mystery because it goes along with the same stuff. I got Irish in me as well, so I've always wanted to go to Ireland and
Yeah.
Scotland,
Yep.
and
You need to plan a trip.
yeah, that'd be extremely rad. And, it's funny. I just said my son and I were talking about Jacob and I were talking about this week. He's asking me these same questions. Where would you go? I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. That's I think that's on most people's lists, I guess.
Yeah, before it's
but the
underwater.
2 big ones are like to go to Ireland and Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Land
Dubai.
of everything is bigger than everything else.
Yeah.
They got the biggest Ferris wheel,
Yeah.
the biggest.
I think the coolest thing about it was
Building,
just
the Burj
the moment
Khalifa.
you get there, you're going to see like a gold-plated Lamborghini just
Yeah.
as a police car.
Yeah.
Well, we're
I
in
would
a
feel-
different world now.
I
aren't
would
we,
feel
guys?
so poor there.
I know.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
it's like I'm walking around. They're paying with gold stuff with gold bars. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think I got a 20. Hang on. You know?
That's how Bahrain was. Like,
Yeah,
they were
everybody's
just bars
wealthy.
with gold. Like, you just go into a store and like you could just buy a bar of gold.
There's
That's
a
so crazy. So crazy.
there's a famous store in Dubai somewhere, and I can't remember what kind of store it was. It might actually be like a theater of some sorts. But there's that famous game that they show online all the time where it's a glass box with a small hole, and there's a massive gold bar
Oh
that
yeah.
I think is like equivalent of like $250,000 or something
Yeah.
like that. And they're like, it's yours to keep if you can get
if
it
you
out.
can get out there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's always videos of people
Gold is
trying.
heavy.
And I think one of the latest videos I saw was this small woman actually was able to get it out. She was able to like use her other hand to like get the force up, whatever. But yeah, like in Dubai, you just have games like that on the street,
Yeah.
just in shops of like, just take the gold bar. It's whatever.
Gold is really heavy because it's
Yeah.
close to lead, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think a bar of lead is something like 40 pounds.
Wow.
And so imagine trying to pick up 40 pounds with your fingers. Like,
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Have
tell
small
you can
hands.
tell in the videos, man. That thing is
Oh, yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to have some serious grip strength as well.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was impressive. So yeah, Dubai
right.
would be so cool.
So real quickly, we got
Yeah.
a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
We've talked about some places. Where do you most identify? What place do I identify with the most?
I have to say Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, just Texas. I mean, it's a simple, quick answer, but it's true.
I think that's most people in Texas. Like, it's Texas.
Yeah.
Where do I most identify?
I think, and it goes back to that video during the Iraq War where the young African-American female had been kidnapped by the terrorist, and they put a camera on her, and they're like, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "Texas." And he's like, no, what country? And, it's just like her immediate response
same
was not
answer.
America. It's
Yes, I'm from Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
And I think it's, not coincidental that our president at the time was the former governor of Texas
Yeah.
and that she was quickly rescued. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Texas. Texas is like another country. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Should be
Yeah.
another country.
I'll go a little bit smaller.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Because I'm obviously proud to be from Texas. I love it. But like hometown to me is, I'm like the most comfortable here. It's safe. Lake Jackson, by the way. Actually, all the cities that are here are really just one big city to me. I think we've talked about that in one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Where you're from. But yeah, like I'm definitely identify here. Like there are parts of me that are connected to structures in this area, right? Like I've grown up here and I've seen things shift and change and be molded into what it is today. And so there's something special about being gone for a long time. And then when you get home, like even entering back into Texas, it's like, yeah, it's cool. We're back in Texas, but then you get to see that Lake Jackson sign coming in on 288 and you're like, yeah, now I'm comfortable.
Yep.
I know where the bathroom is.
That's right.
Buc-ee's.
That's right.
bathroom
Buc-ee's. That's right. Identify the most.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
It's so interesting, and that to me, when I go somewhere else and I go to Buc-ee's, because of course we went to Buc-ee's and we're driving through San Antonio, went to Luling, Buc-ee's in Luling,
The original big
and the girl
one.
I was like, hey, we're from Buc-ee's hometown. She's like she didn't know anything about Lake Jackson. She knew nothing, and I was like, what? You work here? Like
They don't train you.
Not know
yeah.
where these places.
But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. There's actually, I sent you guys a picture on our trip. There is a store called the Texan
That's trying to be Buc-ee's.
that is basically Buc-ee's.
Yes.
They've just
I saw it.
changed everything
ridiculous.
slightly. Like
Yes.
it's the same brick, but it's slightly different color.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is such a
It's so
ripoff.
weird.
It's such a ripoff.
I'm not mad about that though. Like
Not at all.
the reason Buc-ee's is
if
so
convenience
wonderful.
stores going to aspire to be
Yes.
something, aspire to be
sure.
Buc-ee's.
Aspire to be Buc-ee's, yeah.
I'm thinking we need more like this.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
I need more places that I want to go to, and I don't begrudgingly pull over and be like, I guess I got to go to the bathroom.
That's true.
You know,
That's true. That's
It
true.
was
it.
a really nice store. But
I wish
it was
every store
very
would do
like
this.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second. This isn't
Bizarro.
Buc-ee's, but it's
Bizarro
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's,
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep making more that are clean.
More Texans. Yeah.
Who'd have thought that just by saying we have clean bathrooms?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know,
man.
I remember
And
when
living up to that. Not
Yes.
just saying it, but living up to that.
But so they had at the time they only had the two big Buc-ee's. It was the one in Luling, I think, the one in Madisonville. So they strategically placed halfway between Houston and Dallas, right?
Yep.
So as soon as you leave Dallas, there's a sign that says 2 reasons to wait for Buc-ee's in Madisonville.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 2. Like their
Oh,
big
wow.
thing
They're
is
great.
That's hilarious. That's great.
clean bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? In that
Yeah.
stretch, there's a lot of
Yeah.
not clean bathrooms,
Yeah,
which
for
will make
sure.
you want to go, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Although it does kind of give a different connotation to beaver nuggets.
That's funny.
That's
We're number
potentially
one.
it.
We're
When it comes
number
to
one.
number
when it
two.
comes to nuts. Yeah. The other thing that they really advertise on, which I have to admit, it's gone downhill a little bit, but I think COVID had a lot to do with their supply chain and they shifted everything after that. But
Yeah.
their barbecue was well advertised for a while because it was some of the best barbecue you can get from a gas station. I mean,
Oh, from a gas station, yeah.
yeah, like I've been to a lot of good barbecue places, but when you walk into Buc-ee's, like you know what you're going to get, and it's not bad.
Yeah. I obviously I'm from I'm not from Lake Jackson. I've lived here long enough, almost half my life now.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I like Buc-ee's, but it has gotten to the point, like you mentioned Luling, like so many people, like it was, you couldn't park.
yeah.
Like there's no parking.
It's
You
crazy.
drive
There's a
around for 30
line.
minutes trying to find.
There's a line
Yeah.
off the feeder road, off the freeway to get into.
So, and we
bizarre.
stopped at the one in New Brunsville. And there was
Yes.
nobody there. So that one was nice. And
There's
so
another
if I
one
can get
in-
into Buc-ee's like that, I love it.
there's another one in Melissa, Texas.
Yeah.
So
So
they-
when they're super packed,
Yeah.
I usually avoid them just
Yeah.
because I can go to
Understandable.
Buc-ee's here.
Although
yeah.
they now have Dr. Pepper Zero on tap, which
That's
amazing.
That sells. Yeah.
that
sells you right
settles
there.
it for me.
Yeah, that's all he needs to know.
Did we all answer? I don't think I answered.
Texas.
I'd say Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said
Texas. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just waiting on Eric.
No, he said Buc-ee's. That's why we got in the whole conversation of Buc-ee's, man.
Is it
might have been a
Buc-ee's?
joke.
Do you
but,
identify
it's-
with
Do
it's-
I identify with Buc-ee's?
That's what it is now.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I was
Land
thinking
of the Buc-
Whataburger,
or Whataburger.
Buc-ee's,
Whataburger.
home. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Whataburger.
It's all Texas stuff.
It's all
It
Texas
is.
stuff.
It's Texas.
It's definitely Whataburger for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when I was in other countries, people would ask where I'm from. And being in another country, I'd say the U.S. because I expect they're like, oh, Texas. And I was like, yeah, Texas. Like they know Texas. They didn't know anywhere else.
Yep.
And maybe California. But that was it. Like they know Texas.
You're like,
Yeah.
Scranton.
Yeah.
One
Yes.
of my favorite pictures I've seen just recently was this guy who's a geography teacher, and he took to TikTok to help people understand geography a little bit better. And one of the most recent things, everybody keeps asking him, "Hey, do Texas, do Texas, do Texas." So he's like, "Fine, okay." So he's like, "This is one of the most disturbing things that lives rent free in my head." And then he shows a picture of the outline of Wisconsin sitting on top of Houston. The entire state is Houston.
Houston's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Wow.
And so it gives you a perspective. He's like, you guys don't realize how massive Texas is.
Yeah.
I do not identify with Houston.
No.
I avoid Houston as much as I can.
I like
There's
driving
so many
fast.
people.
Yeah.
I
Through it.
I driving through it.
Yeah,
That's right.
We
I
have
avoid it.
It's kind of like you have Houston pride because of some of the things it can stand for, like the Houston Astros
Yeah.
and stuff like
the
that.
Rockets.
But you avoid the city
back in the day.
at all costs.
Again, it's so many people.
Clutch
I think
city.
that's my thing.
Yeah.
Anywhere where there's a
Too
ton
many
of people,
people.
I'm like, I'm out. Like that's just me. Yeah.
I do like options though. That's one of the things I like about living close to Houston.
Yep.
It's like we live close enough to have options and far away enough to be like, I'll see you over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually, if I'm telling somebody where I live,
Near
I will
Houston,
say near Houston or Houston area. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then I'm like, well, it's actually an hour away.
Yeah.
But they just know Houston,
just
so it's
know.
easier. Yeah.
Well, you just say where we have amoebas in the water.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
there you
Because
go,
that made a
yeah.
national
Yeah,
news.
no,
That
we
made
don't
national
want that
Jackson,
anymore.
yeah.
That's all been fixed.
It's all been fixed.
Chlorine month.
Yeah,
And
I
now-
remember that. But guys, thank you so much for being back with us. It's been fun. We're getting back into the swing of things. We've been out of it. We're kind of rusty, but I mean, it's great to be back. It's great to host another episode of the 4THOUGHT podcast. Like usual, we always love to hear from our listeners. Anybody who's listening right now, if you're listening on something else other than YouTube, be sure to comment or send us something, or just come on over to YouTube and watch it. There's videos on there. You can see exactly what we look like, what we're doing.
That's right.
Leave comments about the places you've been, things you want to see.
places you've been.
Yeah,
Craziest,
craziest.
yes.
I know there's some
Or leave
pretty
a review.
Yeah, or leave a review.
Yeah.
As long as it's a nice review, man.
Like, subscribe.
We're sensitive, dude. Like,
Smash that like button.
yeah, do the whole subscribe and put us like, but yeah, we hope to see you in the next episode. We're glad to be back. So we'll see you next time on the 4THOUGHT podcast. Peace out.
Oh yeah.